Terry and Jesse.
Welcome back. Father Frank Pavone filling in for Jesse today. Father, I do this every time I chat with you because I want to have a high information Catholic. You have a website that shows the platforms of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And it very clearly states what their positions are on the life issues. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Yes, this is something we developed some years ago, and it's been one of our most popular resources.
Yeah.
Votinginfo.net is where they can get that specific guide, votinginfo.net. And that's part of a wider website, Terry, called Pro-Life Vote. ProLifeVote.com, and that's where we have our election training. People can actually sign up for monthly Zoom calls where they'll be on live with me and with our rest of the members of our political team.
Excellent.
And we'll train them to do things like we were saying before the break, becoming committee, precinct committee persons and other things they can do to influence the elections. So ProLifeVote.com is our main election site, and then VotingInfo.net. Now, this comparison piece draws directly from the party platforms on a range of issues. And I mean, anyone who looks at it objectively and who knows the faith is going to see that the fact of the matter is the Republican positions line up better with the teachings of our faith than do the Democrat positions. The Democrat positions are anti-life, anti-family, anti-freedom. They're all this pro-gender, the LGBTQ garbage, and it's terrible.
Well, you know, Father, that's been a very instrumental point for me when I share the issues of pro-life, because many times people say to me, oh, no, that's not the Democratic Party's position. No, I mean, they're like, really? Because they've never looked at the platform in their entire life. That's why I think this is such an important thing you've done to share people, to give people an opportunity to actually see what the parties believe in. And I, again, as a Catholic, and I know people get upset at me saying this, and, you know, I'm not trying to get people mad, but I just don't have a clue on how an informed Catholic can vote Democrat. And I'll tell you why, because it's the party of killing innocent life, okay? So if someone votes that way and I have an opportunity to share with them, I'm going to tell them, don't do it because you're voting to participate in the slaughter of innocent children. And I know that upsets people, but you know what, Father? That's just the facts, the plain facts.
And the other pattern that you notice is a Pew Research, which is a very respected research firm, did a study about religious practices as compared with political affiliation.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what they found? They found a very clear pattern that essentially, to sum it up, the Democrat Party is the party where the non-religious people go, and the Republican Party tends to be the home for more religious people. Now, obviously, there are exceptions both ways. But the fact of the matter is that where do people congregate, or what, when you look at the party affiliation, where do you have more people who do not believe in God, do not pray, do not read the Bible, and do not go to church?
Right.
But their home is in the Democrat Party. And we see it in little ways. For example, we celebrated Christmas last week, right?
Sure.
What was the Christmas message of the current president of the United States, the Democrat President Biden?
No.
He didn't even mention Jesus.
No.
He didn't even mention Jesus. He said, oh, well, take some time together in stillness and reflection and warmth. Yeah, but you could do that. That's so vague.
It is.
That you can do that as a gay couple. You can do that in any kind of, you could do that as an abortionist, you know? Oh, yeah, I'm going to take some time in the warmth of my abortion clinic because I know I'm serving women. Well, wait a second. What did President Trump say in his Christmas message? He proclaimed the gospel of Jesus Christ.
I remember that he read the narrative too.
It was like a preacher would do. Yeah. And he named the name of Jesus. He talked plain about what it is that we celebrate at Christmas. Now, that is very specific. Because when you invoke the name and the gospel of Jesus Christ, you're invoking a particular set of teachings which has been clear for 2,000 years.
Yes.
And so there's no wiggle. You know why people want to cancel Christmas?
Tell me.
People talk about the war on Christmas, right? There's a very simple reason. And I said this the other day on Newsmax. I said, look, it's because Christmas is too specific.
Yeah.
You can't have any wiggle room about the moral norms. Jesus Christ has a set of teachings that's very clear. And so for some people, it's like the reason they want to have a war on Christmas is that they want to make God in their own image.
Yep.
They want to write their own moral code. They want to have the freedom to do whatever in the world they want. Well, if you do whatever in the world you want, you could still say, oh, well, I'm taking comfort in stillness and reflection and warmth, like Biden was saying. But you cannot say, like President Trump said, this is Jesus Christ is Lord.
Yep.
This is the gospel of salvation.
Yeah.
It's so easy to understand. And we've just got to face the reality of the kind of a war that we are in right now.
Father Frank, I listen and I talk to a lot of people because thousands of people come to our chapel for just the funerals that we do.
Yeah.
And I try to influence people. And I have to say that there's an objection that they tell me, and I want you to handle this. I know what I said to them, but I'd like to hear you. They go, oh, well, I just don't like the personality of X, okay, this person. And so I can't vote for them. And I know I tell them, hey, what's that got to do with their policies? I'm sorry, you don't like them, okay. You don't have to like somebody to vote for them. Am I off on that?
There are many great people in history that these same folks would not like at all. And yet they have won victories on the world stage for peace. They've been generals in war that have defended our country. You think these people were all, marshmallows and smiles? The leadership. When the more effective of a leader you are, the more opposition you have. The more opposition you have, you're either going to fight back against it and win, or you're not going to survive, and therefore you're not going to be able to lead. And that's why the fact of the matter is that some of the greatest political leaders, military leaders that have preserved world peace and advanced our values have been people who, when you get up close and personal, you're not necessarily going to like the way they talk or, their person. It's not a personality contest. It's not a beauty contest. You're not being asked to marry or to date the politicians that you're voting for. You're being asked one simple question. Is this person qualified to lead that according to the job description of the position they have? In the case of presidents, defend this country on the world stage, defend its borders, defend its values. And it's the policies. And in terms of the role of the president, people are talking about, should we impeach Biden and whatnot? A president doesn't have to commit a crime in order, in the sense of you think about a courtroom and a jury and beyond a reasonable doubt and everything. That's not the standard for impeachment. Impeachment is you betray the trust of the people because you don't enforce the country's laws and you don't fulfill the job that they elected you to do. If somebody doesn't enforce our laws, that's reason enough to get rid of them, to get them out of office. If somebody doesn't protect our border, there's already laws in place to protect our border. Right now, we have no southern border, and these are the kinds of things that it's a different standard when you talk about constitutionally impeachment. So, what does this have to do with, whether you like somebody or not? That's really, it's a self-centered thing, really, when people say that. It's self-centered.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that. Father, give us some more websites, how people can support Priests for Life, because I'll say it again, like I always do, I support you. And I want our listeners to support you. So how can they do
Well, endabortion.us is our main website. Now, people are going to see there a wide range of activities. We have healing after abortion, activation of the churches, political involvement like we've been talking about, other action alerts they can sign up for. Endabortion.us, wide range of activities. And then to support us, prolifegift.org. Prolifegift.org. You can be a monthly supporter, a one-time donation. It's an effort that you're going to for every gift you give, you're going to be helping to save lives very directly.
I would imagine at your exit interview, Father Frank, and anyone helping support pro-life efforts, it will go well for you, because what did our Lord say? What you do to the least of my brothers, you've done to me.
Yep.
And I can't think of anybody more than the unborn babies, because you know what, Father? All the other rights that people talk about, they're immaterial, because if you don't have the right to life, you have no other rights.
You have no other ones.
So I think it's important. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that I ask Jess Romero every single day on vmpr.org. And it is, what state should we be living in, Father Frank?
The state of sanctifying grace.
Yeah. And how do we do that? This is the new year. we stay close to Jesus. We stay close to him in the sacraments. Again, I want to encourage you to get those rosaries out. Today's Holy Innocents, many of us are going to the abortion clinic to pray there on this feast of Holy Innocents, and we're tying it into the unborn. I recommend 40 Days for Life. Many people locally here are at abortion clinics promoting and praying before clinics. We know, Father Frank, and you said it to me many times, the fact that somebody's praying at an abortion clinic stops many abortions. Am I onto something there?
Oh, it definitely does. We've seen, the security guard that became pro-life up in Minneapolis. We used to take them out the back door so that the pro-life people wouldn't see that they changed their minds, And Joy Davis that ran abortion facilities in the South. When people were praying out there, we knew it was going to be a bad day for business.
Oh my God. And so that's why it's important for us to be there. And I know that sometimes they're going to make, statements to you that are derogatory. And again, what I always say to people at the clinics, take it for Jesus. Smile.
Yes.
And don't even respond when they cuss you out or they want to yell at you. You say, God bless you. Yeah. And they don't know what to do with that.
Do good and let the birds sing, like we were saying before with St. John Bosco.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Father,
I
want to just encourage people on that monthly check to Priest for Life. Can you tell us how important that is for paying your monthly bills each month? And you know that check is coming in every month.
Exactly, yes. And you know this as well, that we have to plan for each month. Right. First of all, we're going to cover our basic expenses. And secondly, what projects can we do? And here's the thing about projects in the pro-life movement. They have to be sometimes very, very immediate and without much notice. We're dealing with deadlines, these state ballot initiatives, the legislation that comes up or a court decision or something that has to be done right away. We can't play around with, we'll wait until we get the money, because then it becomes too late.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Father Frank Pavone, Priest for Life, thanks for joining us here on Virgin Most Powerful Radio. I want to also take this time to thank all the supporters who have made it special for us to be able to broadcast every day these teachings. And again, just the news is Bishop Strickland's going to be doing more shows here at Virgin Most Powerful every week. So we're very blessed to have him on our team. He's going to have a voice that we call he's America's bishop. Why? Because he is going to proclaim the teachings of the Christ. And that's what we do here at Virgin Most Powerful Radio. Don't forget, Our Lady of Fatima said souls are going to hell because no one is there to pray and make sacrifices. Offer it all up for Jesus.